Hello everyone, welcome back to new lesson. Today's topic is about necrosis. So what is necrosis? It is a cell death due to irreversible injury. If the limits of adaptive responses are exceeded or if the cell is unable to adapt for the stress, then it undergoes cell injury. If it is more severe, then it undergoes irreversible injury, that is cell death. Now let's see in detail. Necrosis is defined as localized area of death of tissue along with the degradation of tissue by hydrolytic enzymes that are liberated from the dead cells. And here the necrotic cells are unable to maintain membrane integrity and their contents leak out. That means the outline is preserved and the cellular organelles are leaked out. And the enzymes that digest necrotic cell are derived from the lysosomes of dying cells and lysosomes of leukocytes. There are various types of necrosis. Like coagulative necrosis, this type of necrosis is seen in the heart, kidney, and spleen. And liquefaction necrosis, this type is seen in the infarcts and the abscess cavities. Abscess cavities means the tissue will be swollen, containing accumulation of pus. And caseous necrosis, this is a necrosis in the center of tubercular foci and mainly seen in the lungs. And fat necrosis, this is a special type of cell death in the pancreas and the breast. Next, fibrinoid necrosis is seen in the peptic ulcers. Coagulative necrosis, this is the most common type of necrosis usually seen in the heart, kidney and spleen. It occurs due to the irreversible injury and mostly from the sudden cessation of blood flow and less commonly from bacteria and chemical agents. And the causes are ischemia, that is sudden cessation of blood flow, is the most common cause, and the bacterial infections like diphtheria and the bacillary dysentery. It is an intestinal infection caused by Shigella bacteria. And the chemical agents are mercury chloride is also a cause of this necrosis. And grossly, it appears pale, firm and slightly swollen in the early stages and become more yellowish, softer and shrunken with the further progression of necrosis. Microscopically, the hallmark of the coagulative necrosis is the conversion of normal cell into tombstones. That is, normal outline of the cell is retained so that the cell type can be still recognized, but the cytoplasmic and nuclear details are lost. And the necrosed cells are swollen and appear more eosinophilic than the normal cell. The denaturation of cellular proteins and enzymic digestion of the cell brings about these changes. And necrosed foci is infiltrated by inflammatory cells and dead cells are phagocytosed, leaving granular debris and fragments of the cells. Here in this figure, this is a yellow color wedge-shaped kidney infarct, and in the microscopic view, this is the normal structure where it is the infarct structure, showing preserved outline with the loss of nuclei and the inflammatory infiltrate and the nuclei of leukocytes, that is inflammatory cells in between the necrotic tubules. Moving on to next, liquefaction is also called as necrosis. When necrosed cells and tissues are converted into structureless fluid, it is called liquefactive necrosis. Example, it is seen in the infarct of brain and abscess cavities. And this type of necrosis occurs commonly due to ischemia and bacterial or fungal infections due to degradation of tissue by action of powerful hydrolytic enzymes. Now tissue becomes liquefied after necrosis because it contains more of lipid and water which do not coagulate. Affected area is set with liquefied center containing necrotic debris. And microscopically it has no structure, contains necrotic debris and phagocytosed material and macrophages. This is the figure showing an infarct in the brain showing dissolution of the tissue. Next, moving on to caseous necrosis. When the necrosed tissue is converted into soft cheese-like mass, it is called as caseous necrosis. Such necrosis occurs in case of granuloma production by tuberculous infection. It combines features of both coagulative and liquefative necrosis. And grossly, the foci of caseous necrosis resemble dry cheese and look soft, granular and yellowish. And microscopically, the central part of the granuloma shows finely granular structures and less material which contains fragments of cells and nucleic acids, which give somewhat purple stain. This is the figure showing caseous necrosis, the tuberculosis of the lung, with a large area of caseous necrosis containing yellow, whitish or cheesy debris. Next, moving on to fat necrosis. This is a cell death occurring due to necrosis of the fat cells or adipose tissues, and it is commonly occurs in the breast and pancreas. It is of two types. First is a traumatic fat necrosis, occurs in the breast due to trauma in the subcutaneous fat cells, and other is a acute pancreatic necrosis. This is due to pancreatic lipase is released from the injured or the inflamed tissues, which digest the fat and results in the pancreatitis. Grossly, it appears yellowish white and firm deposits are seen. Microscopically, the fat cells have cloudy appearance with only faint outline left, and soap takes light blue color, occupying the fat globule and identified as many granular clumps in the tissue. This is the figure showing fat necrosis. The areas of white chalky appearance deposits represent foci of fat necrosis with calcium soap formation at the site of lipid breakdown in mesentery. Next, fibrinoid necrosis. This type of necrosis is characterized by deposition of fibrin-like material. Example is seen in the peptic ulcer and usually seen in the immune reactions involving blood vessels and hypertension. Microscopically, fibrinoid necrosis is identified by brightly eosinophilic or hyaline-like deposition in the vessels or on the luminal surface of the peptic ulcer. This is a figure showing fibrinoid necrosis in an artery. The wall of the artery shows a superficial bright pink area of the necrosis with inflammation. This pattern of necrosis typically occurs when complexes of antigen and antibodies are deposited in the walls of arteries. Deposits of these immune complexes, together with the fibrin that has leaked out of vessels, result in the bright pink and amorphous appearance in HND stains. So thank you so much for staying with me. I hope this video has been helpful for you. Thank you. Keep watching.